So once we realized that it was one continuous, massive shape, the biggest shape in sand anywhere on the property, and maybe for miles and miles around, we thought this is our ocean, that this is the thing we could lock the golf course into. When we were invited to put a proposal forward, Michael Kaiser gave us the mapping for the whole 1,600 acres, maybe it was 2,000. The mapping was very accurate, but complex. Hard to just look at a bunch of contours and read it right away. Maybe some mathematical genius could do it, but I certainly couldn't. What we did was we took it into our computer system and we analysed it carefully to start with. We asked the computer to build a three-dimensional model, and then we did slope studies and elevation studies. One of the things that jumped right out of the maps was this huge V-shaped ridge, and the point of the V is pointing west, and the tail of the V is pointing east. And that V is about a mile on each arm, and it's about 80 feet tall. And it was covered under trees. It was so big that you couldn't really even realize that it was one continuous shape unless you looked at the mapping. And other architects that were part of the bake-off that Mike did had wandered around this massive feature and discounted it as just too difficult. It was going to make a very unwalkable golf course, very difficult golf course to lay out. But I knew that there was a trick. If we could figure out a couple of spots to get up and over the ridge so that we could get from the inside of it to the outside, then we had a chance. So we did a lot of studying and we found a couple of spots in the ridge. They were almost opposite one another. Who knows what geological form made the breaks in the ridge, but we knew then that there was a chance. So in the routings that then developed, we ended up at where we are now, where the 4th green and the 13th green sit in saddles in the ridge. And those were the key points. Without the 4th green and the 13th green, there'd be no Mammoth Dunes. There may not even be me sat here. And it made the golf course enthralling from a routing point of view and very walkable. How I would describe the routing for Mammoth Dunes is you're either inside or outside the ridge. I mean, to me it seems very clear. You play 1, 2, 3 and 4 inside the ridge, and then you break over to the other side. It's been suggested that Mammoth Dunes really starts on 5T as you break to the outside of this massive ridge. And you play all the way outside the ridge against the outside slope of it, all the way around to 13. And then at 14T, you break back inside it. Some of the golfers that have experienced the course so far have said to me, they were completely bemused. They didn't know where they were. They couldn't decide where the clubhouse was or which way north was until they got back to 14T, and they looked immediately back to the clubhouse and they realized, oh, there I am. They had no clue which way was up. And that's thrilling to hear because they were lost. They were completely lost in the adventure of circumnavigating this giant shape that sits here in central Wisconsin.